YouTube. And with that, alright, I think it is time to get started. Yeah, we are doing the usual. Recently played. Traditional Explorer, ranked best of 3. Alright, and in we go. Alright, we found an opponent. And let's see. This hand is not exciting, but it has an artist talent, it has a picklock prankster, it has a treasure cruise, and it's even got some interaction as well. Alright. They're black-red, which is unsurprising. It's definitely like the most common color combination by a lot. Let's just get our artist talent down. We can take a couple hits from a Blood Tithe Harvester. Alright, they have a duress. Probably I would take either the treasure cruise. I would take the treasure cruise. Yep. Picklock prankster can't be taken because it's a creature. So that's fun. Alright, second harvester. They know about my fiery impulse, so yeah, let's do a good old sleight of hand. I don't think 2 spell pierces are going to be necessary. Pheonix is great. So let's kill a harvester. Put a Pheonix in the bin. Bounce a harvester, I guess. Put a Shivan Reef in the bin. And we only get 1 Pheonix back, but that's still pretty good. Still a pretty good turn. Alright, they have Shieldred. I'm going to free the Fae during my upkeep, because if I hit a Lightning Axe, then I can use it. No Lightning Axe is to be found. This kind of sucks. Yes, I take the treasure cruise. Alright, and I didn't top deck the Lightning Axe. So now we are in trouble against a Shieldred. I'm going to just run out a Picklock Prankster. Now Shieldred basically impossible to race, so we're going to have to find a Lightning Axe eventually. Unholy Annex. And fire up Mutavault, making the race even worse. So yeah, I think we've lost this game. They're just going to gain a bunch of life and lose us a bunch of life. Let's go digging for a Lightning Axe again. Nope, still nothing. I guess we can do this to try to find something. But yeah, we are... Alright, we found the Lightning Axe. The good news is we can kill the Shieldred. The bad news is everything else. Alright, so we have to discard a card. That's what that River of Glide Pathway is for. We're not going to discard another card. Then we're going to go to 3. So we're at 3 against their Unholy Annex deck, which can basically burn us for 2 a turn. Which is it's better than being at 2, but it's going to take a miracle to win this game. We need to treasure cruise into a removal spell for the Mutavault to stand a chance. Yep. Tithe Harvester. So I'm dealing 7. So if I can survive this coming turn, then I win. Probably. 6, 7. Just do some treasure cruising. Alright, we have a lightning axe. Oh, wait, no, that gained them up to 8, so I need... Yeah, I don't think I can realistically win anymore. But I'm going to try, so I have to lightning axe the Mutavault so that that doesn't trigger. I have to double chump so that doesn't happen. Actually, no. Well, yeah. So I can... They only have 2 attackers. So I can double chump, put them to 2. Yikes. I don't know what I need to draw to get me out of this one, but I have to believe that there's something. So I chump there, bounce there, and then trade there. Alright, technically, so we could get a Props or another Pheonix. Oh no, that's a demon. Alright, that's a demon. I lose. Alright. That's unfortunate. Let's see here. What do we need here? Spell Pierce can probably go. I mean, it's good against their unholy NXs, but pretty much like most other things are creatures. A Null is fine at stopping unholy NX and Fable. So they're going to have Graveyard Hate, so we need to bring in those guys. They have lots of small creatures, so my burn stuff is good. They have big creatures, which are very important, so Lightning Axe is good. Floodmaw could bail me out versus like a hearse or something. I think we just trim to Sleight of Hand and call it that. Alright, this is fine. Okay. We're just gonna run out a land and an artist talent. Nothing too scary on turn 2 from them. I would like... Okay, I was wrong. They have Unlicensed Terse. That is fine. It's definitely not good. I would have loved to have thought of that. So now I can't get this Pheonix going. So I'm going to need to do my backup plans. Love to annul a Fable. And discard a Sleight of Hand. And let's see, Picklock Prankster gets us. Alright, untapped land is much better than tapped land. on Fiery Impulse's interaction, I guess. It's awful to see the Crackling Drake go. We're going to hardcast a Pheonix and get some damage in. So yeah, Crackling Drake in the bin is not what we want to see. We need to draw that. So now we're looking for an Iconoclast. Alright, there's the Sheoldred. It's not actually a concern. We can just Lightning Axe that immediately. Get rid of Fiery Impulse. And not trigger Artist Talent for obvious reasons. Alright, and we redraw a Fiery Impulse. So we just chip in for another 3 and play our 1/3 out. So this game is going fine in some ways. Like, we've stopped their Sheoldred, we have creatures in play. The graveyard being hit by the hearse is very much a problem. Alright, so they're going to torch my Pheonix. There's nothing I can do about that. I could Fire Impulse to kill it without that, but then they just hearse it. Alright, so they have their fear of missing out, which I can Fiery Impulse, because this currently deals 3. Unless, actually, that's super risky, because I only have 2 instants and sorceries in the graveyard at the moment. So I think I need to get more in there so that they can't stop it with a hearse activation. So we're going to consider instead. Floodmaw is great. So that can answer the hearse when we need it to. So we just need to... I guess we can level up Artist Talent since we aren't doing anything else. We still have 2 mana up for both of our spells. So they're going to activate this hearse, and I can Impulse the Fear in response. And definitely keep the Floodmaw. Alright. That's that. Hidetsugu consumes all. Chapter 1 does nothing. Chapter 2 exiles all graveyards. Chapter 3 is a kind of mediocre creature. So they have more fear of missing out. Alright. I think I need to high roll here, so if I opt and then Floodmaw, no, I don't have enough resources to do anything reasonable this turn. So I'm just going to have to attack, level up Artist Talent again. And yeah, the graveyard is basically exiled anyway, so the second chapter of Hidetsugu doesn't do all that much. So we're going to just try to get more cards in hand so that we can go to the... Oh, that's funny. That turns off their Delirium as well. So we need more cards in hand so that we can Artist's Talent and Opt and get Phoenixes in the bin at the same time as we get rid of the unlicensed hearse. they're crewing up the hearse, which is, we're going to take 8 and chump block the fear of missing out, or not chump block, but just bounce. Damping Sphere. I think I have enough mana to fight through that, potentially. But I think that is going to encourage me... Actually, the hearse is tapped currently. So I think we go for this now. We can send the Damping Sphere back to hand and start looking for something. Treasure Cruise is not it. Do not have the cards in graveyard for that. Alright, Consider is great. Opt pretty much needs to hit cantrips or phoenixes. So we've cast 3 spells this turn. Now we just need a phoenix in the bin. So we just need a castable spell. Yes, fantastic. Alright, Pheonix goes in the bin. We don't need another Treasure Cruise. Right on time, Iconoclast. Alright, Pheonix is back. I think we'd still just lose to them firing up the Unlicensed Hearse a bunch of times, unfortunately. If not for the Damping Sphere, we could have bounced that and reset it and been in a decent enough spot, but that has Menace. I mean... yeah, they can even make their fish a 5/5. So I'm taking 7 this turn, even if I block the 8/8. I guess we have to go for the high roll. We have a Treasure Cruise, which could get us the Phoenixes that we need to win this game. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, right. And I think Third Path Iconoclast is going to be not enough here. I think we pretty much need to win this exact turn. I'll keep it rather than the Annul, I guess, because Annul objectively does nothing, whereas Third Path Iconoclast... 3 lands. We do 3 lands off of that, and with that we are dead. We needed to draw 3 spells off of that, pretty much. I think if we had drawn 3 spells off of that, we have a very real chance of winning. Unfortunately, you have to be lucky. You have to at least not be unlucky. Alright, let's try another one. Yeah, this is fine. Better if they're a creature deck, but... Alright, so they're gonna be this deck. The domain, big stuff. Alright. Well, we're gonna pass, hold up our interaction, and Picklock Prankster at end of turn. Up the Beanstalk is that worth countering? Probably. Oh wait, they have the Sylvian Carry added. I'm dumb. Alright, I have punted. I forgot that this was a mana dork. Alright. And I'm also going to be missing my 3rd land drop. Alright, nope, found it. But now we are running into the problem where we have basically very little we can do. Roxanne, something, something. Make a meteorite that deals 2 damage to any target and taps for a mana. And sure, her being around makes all of them tap for even more mana. Why not? Alright, well, let's kill that. And we can play Artist's Talent. And again, try to set up something so that we can put a Pheonix in the bin, end of turn. And then go off next turn. They're just adding Yorion to hand. Alright. Well, I'm going to pick Black Prankster. And take a consider. We have 2 Phoenixes in the bin, which is great. I'm going to consider one of these Lightning Axes away. Floodmaw is pretty good, so it can get rid of their meteorite if I want to. They have too much mana for Spell Pierce to be reliable, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I think I am going to just Floodmaw that meteorite. And we got another Pheonix. That's pretty cool. So we can Sleight of Hand, put this Pheonix in the bin, and then take a cantrip, play our land for the turn, get our Phoenixes back, and crack them for 9. And hope that this is fast enough. It's pretty fast. Leyline Binding takes out one of the Phoenixes, so they only take 6 this turn. Another Leyline Binding takes out another Phoenix, so they only take 3 this turn, and with that, we've almost certainly lost the game. Like, 2 of our Phoenixes are permanently gone. They have infinite mana. They've drawn 2 cards off of those Leyline Bindings. I'm going to play on to see what exactly they're cooking, because don't always see Roxanne. A Cornucopia. Alright, even more ramp. And a Binding the Old Gods. So that's going to blow up my Artist's Talent, I assume. Yep. So, let's see here. I guess we can try to, like, spike a Prof's win or something. But oh, yeah, sure, another Leyline Binding. That's reasonable. Why wouldn't they have 3 Leyline Bindings in the top 17 cards of their 80 card deck? Just completely normal. Alright, well, I guess I run out of Picklock Prankster and pass, and we're gonna hope to, like, draw 19 cards next turn and kill them with Eidetic Memory, but I don't think that this game is realistic to win. Just want to see more cards out of them. Nif Mizzet Reborn, yep, makes sense. And now we get to see Abrupt Decay, Fables, Vanishing versus Pillage the Bogs. Okay. Understandable. Yeah, I think I think I've seen enough. Like, their deck is just... It's just like a giant, like, game of how much graveyard hate can you fit in one deck for no reason. I think we get rid of our early game burn spells. They have, like, Roxanne, but don't really need those. Negate seems good. Lots of non-creatures over there. They're going to be a Bring to Light, so Mystic Dispute is fine. Floodmaw is probably unexciting. And Trim 2 Sleight of Hands. I'm going to try it like this. Well, this is the interaction hand. We're going to try to get some good stuff off of Picklock Prankster and just shut down like all of their stuff with a Null and Mystic Dispute. Alright, that's Picklock Prankster. There goes Propsidetic Memory. So there's a significant portion of my win percentage gone. I really need to play like 2 copies of that. It's just too good. Let's play an untapped land and a Picklock Prankster. Valky, God of Lies. Alright, well, that's going to take a Prankster. Not a big deal. And I assume that this is intended to be unfair. And they're going to try to cheese the Tybalt side, but... Alright, let's do some Picklock Prankstering. Alright, we got a Pheonix in the bin. And spell number 2, we Lightning Axe the Valky. Throw back Steam Vents, I guess. And then spell number 3 is Treasure Cruise, which can avoid the Pheonix. Alright. Decent hits, but not great. So we are gonna have to hope they have nothing this turn. Okay, just a Cornucopia and a Vanishing Verse. Alright, Vanishing Verse is very annoying. So we basically need to just reset up. And now we need to hold up interaction because they could be doing Bring to Light at any point. So on this turn, Bring to Light would probably be their only spell, so I think I can run out another Picklock Prankster and Mystical Dispute them. So they could have 1 mana counter magic of their own, but I think I just have to play as if they don't. Alright, another Cornucopia. I could counter that, but I'm not going to. Kumbal. Of course. Of course they have Kumbal. Man. I feel like everyone just has infinite hate for this specific matchup. Despite the fact that, like, it's not a very common deck. Like, you could just ignore it and be fine, or have like a couple sideboard cards for it and be fine. Alright, we find a lightning axe. And throw back the sleight of hand, I guess. So we do get 2 Pheonixes, which means the pressure is officially on. They're below their starting life total. And I have a Null and Mystical Dispute up, but at this point I would love to just be able to untap and just attack for the rest of the game. Beanstalk is fine. I'm not going to counter that one. I think it might be bait, and if it isn't bait, it's just card draw, and I'm going to hopefully beat them before they draw too much. So they have 5 mana, which is exactly enough to bring to light. Alright, and they've just added Yorion to hand and passed. That's great. So I can run out an Iconoclast and attack. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so Picklock Prankster. So running out Picklock Prankster puts them under threat of lethal. It also taps me out of doing all of this in a single turn. But if I have to cast even a single counterspell, Third Path Iconoclast creates a guy, and they're also almost certainly going to be gaining life off of the Cornucopia. So I think that is not worth it. Alright, so there's the Yorion, which unfortunately does get around my negates and annuls, and they have too much mana left over to Mystical Dispute. So now the question is, what else do they have? Alright, they're just not casting any more spells. So that is super awkward, because all of this stuff is counter magic. I don't have any cantrips. So I'm just going to run out of another Pheonix. And I guess... See, if I attack them with a bunch, they take 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then next turn they would take 7. Alright, so I think this attack is enough pressure to be worth it. Alright, they're blocking the Iconoclast, which means they take even more. And, alright, they're cycling a Ketria Triome. Alright, so they go to 4. And we hopefully... this is enough. Will this be enough? Ashiok Dream Render doesn't save them. Although they are gaining a lot of life.
Welcome to my
So obviously exiling my graveyard and milling me is quite good for them.
masterpiece.
But they are still taking 8 this following turn. If I can protect what I have. Alright, we are going to cast an Opt. Keep our defenses and add a Spell Pierce. Sure. So I will fight over anything you have. Alright. Lightning Helix, though, it does gain them life. So that gains them 2 from the cornucopias, or 4 from the cornucopias. Which is very bad. We have to end the turn and hope that they just completely brick. But yeah, this is not going well for the home team. We're so close, but these stupid cornucopias are going to get them over the finish line, I think. Because they're probably going to gain like another 4 this turn. And Ashiok is going to mill and exile that Pheonix. So yeah, I think we're going to fall just barely short. Maybe I should have countered that cornucopia all those turns ago. Alright, there's the Bring to Light. I have to stop this. Well, I can't even stop this, right? I need to, like... Alright, so now I can. So this costs them 3. This Spell Pierce costs them another 2. And this Spell Pierce costs them their last 2. Alright, so I have countered the Bring to Light. But now they're back up to 8. And this attack is going to be for 5. Yep. And there goes my graveyard again. Thank you, Ashiok. Alright, well, if any card could do it, Crackling Drake could do it. Alright, well, I'm just going to play out my creatures. And I think this turn we have to hold. And then next turn hope that Sokenzan can push across the line. But I'm pretty sure this game is over, but we're not technically dead yet. Crackling Drake could get us there. So they only gained 2 there, which is a pretty big plus. We are down to 10 cards in library, which is certainly a thing. Well, they're at 10. This is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. In theory, if both of their cards are bricks, Channel Sokenzan is enough. Now, please have no castable spells. Nope, it's a Vanishing Verse, which is going to gain them 4. Yep. Alright, well, I think that does it for me. There's realistically no hope, especially with the Castle Vantress. Like, they're going to keep finding castable spells. Alright, well, let's try another one. I'd like to get a win at some point, please. Alright, let's see what this opponent has. Alright, this is one land. We're on the draw. We have a billion cantrips. I think if there's any one lander to keep, it's this one. Alright, they have Urborg, Thoughtseize. Good thing we have lots of redundancy. Alright, and we even hit the land. That's great. We're still going to turn one cantrip. Grab ourselves a Pheonix. Alright, turn 2 Duress. Take the other artist's talent. Discard decks. How I love playing against decks that discard all of my cards. Thoughtseize gonna... That was incredibly stupid, opponent. You do realize that the big predicament I was in was that... Okay, so that's why. Graveyard Trespasser. So they were just gonna get rid of the Pheonix. And let's Picklock Prankster, try to get another one in there. Nope. I just basically completely bricked. Well, I'm going to fire off some cantrips, and maybe one of these considers can put a Pheonix in the bin. Yes, it can. Another one? Alright. Well, that was decent. We did get a Pheonix back. So that's something, at least. Unfortunately, they have a Sheoldred, which means I lose, pretty much. It's just... Like, what are you supposed to do? Like... Main deck, Graveyard Trespasser, turn 4 Sheoldred, triple Thoughtseize. Fire up 2 Mutavaults, because why not? Like, why the main deck Graveyard Trespasser? It makes no sense. Like, your deck... I should have done this. I should have done that in combat. I'm going to bounce it in my draw step. And let's see if we can get anything interesting happening. Looking like a no. Alright. Lightning Axe is technically something. So I guess we pass. Hold up Lightning Axe. Graveyard Trespasser goes back to a 3/3, which is great. I can kill the Sheoldred. Alright, you get out here. A null seems terrible here. Alright, Treasure Cruise. Bail me out, please. Alright, well, second Treasure Cruise is certainly something I won't complain about, but I do need to draw, like, actual action at some point. Alright, well, we can run out an artist's talent. Steam vents tapped. Can we afford to attack here? We can kill the Mutavault, chump block the Graveyard Trespasser. No, I think I'll just attack for 1 this turn. Keep my Pheonix on defense. Alright. We might be getting somewhere. Alright. That's great. I would love to Spell Pierce that. Alright, so that is huge. We managed to get basically an entire turn out of them. So now we can Picklock Prankster. Just continue looking for good cards like Consider. So you have 1 spell, 2 spells. Put Pheonix in the bin. Fiery Impulse is great. So we can kill that, discard. Yes, discard Lightning Axe. So that's Graveyard Trespasser dealt with. And I think we've cast 3 spells this turn, so I'm going to go to combat. Yup, Pheonix comes back. And now we are about to win, unless something crazy happens. Alright, so they are mono black. They're mono black, right? No red sources. They're like mono black Devotion, maybe? So we saw the Unholy NX, so a null is good. Saw a lot of creatures. Spell Pierce probably less good. Another Fiery Impulse. They're going to have infinite graveyard hate. So let's just bring in like the entire anti-graveyard package. Flood Moss seems kind of mid. And I guess 3 Sleight of Hands. Alright, they sideboarded quickly as well, which probably doesn't mean anything. Alright, this hand is fine. We've got cantrips. They're a Thoughtseize Duress deck, so you basically just can't ever mulligan or else you instantly lose. Yep. Turn 1 Thoughtseize as expected. Take the Picklock Prankster. Alright. And what discard spells do you have on turn 2? Another Thoughtseize. How bold. Yep, so now they're going to take the Artist Talent. And I'm just going to Consider into something. I don't think we need a 3rd land. We find one anyway. And Reckoner Bankbuster. Alright. Don't need another land. We find an Artist Talent. Alright, Artist Talent or Iconoclast? I think Artist's Talent. They probably have small creature removal. I have to assume that Iconoclast is going to die. Alright, they have Slasher. That's fine. I'm going to run out my Iconoclast. And Impulse the Slasher. Then Lightning Axe the Slasher. Oh, this is blue-black. I should have made a 1-1. Oh well. Looks like I'm taking half my life. Another slasher. How exciting. Alright. We need some help against these slashers. I guess we can just stay on blocks. Oh, we only have one red source at the moment, the Spirebluff Canal. The stupid Urborg is making it harder to tell. Alright. That's fine. They can take either one, and they should take the Fire Impulse so that I have to Lightning Axe, I think. Alright, I'm going to consider... I would love to cast a couple more spells so that I can get even more little guys to stop the slashers. Alright, Crackling Drake is fine. Prophytic Memory is great. Alright, we are going to pass to blockers. We're going to triple block 1. And I think we take even more damage. Alright. We're playing the get hit by unstoppable slasher twice game. Unholy Annex is fine. They don't have a demon. Actually... Alright. No, I think we can discard the Crackling Drake. It's just kind of hard to cast. Absolutely not discarding the Prophetic Memory, of course. Alright. I'm going to cast this. Not discard my Fiery Impulse. And put the counters on a random 1-1. And we go in for attacks. Alright, I'm going to declare blocks and then Fiery Impulse it. I think we have to keep the Lightning Axe. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so they have their giant demon. I'm at 1. So I guess we have to attack here and then Lightning Axe the demon to kill it. Alright, no, that was smart, and that means we lose. Yeah, so because they did that, they get to not lose their demon. And we have to try again. Alright. Let's see if we can get another game. Alright. So we have to mulligan Zero Landers, obviously. This one has lands and spells, so we're keeping it. Get rid of the Lightning Axe, since it's the least efficient. And now we're going to get, you know, Thought Seized and then Dress twice and have no spells. But turn 1, no Thought Seize or Duress. Are you okay, opponent? Are you feeling well? You're supposed to have your Thoughtseize and Duress on turn 1. Alright. I guess I have double artist talent going. So I have double artist talent going. I think Torch the Tower is probably better than an average draw. Yeah, so there's Slasher. I could bargain this to kill it immediately, which is quite tempting. Alright. I think the plan... So this is artifact, enchantment, or token. Yeah, so I think the plan is tap land, pass. They're going to play their demon. That makes this a one-shot. Alright, no, they're just going to dress me first. Alright, bargain. That to deal 3. Sacrifice an enchantment. And keep both of my cards because they are both very good. Scry a land to the bottom. And then you can take whichever one. I assume you take the Treasure Cruise. Yep. Alright, and they resolve the Unholy Annex. Alright, well, I'm going to pick Lock Prankster. Hey look, a Treasure Cruise, and an Iconoclast in the graveyard. I would really rather my Iconoclast not be in the graveyard. It's kind of supposed to be a card that is in your hand. Alright, let's get some drawing. Alright, Proph's Eidetic Memory is fantastic. I wanted to hit an untapped land, and I do hit an untapped land. So now I can get a Picklock Prankster out, put a bunch of counters on it, and now I have a threatening creature. You have to have removal for it. And hopefully I can just do this every turn for the rest of the game. Alright. Yep, they have Shield's Edict, not surprising. And they have a Thoughtseize, also unsurprising. They should take the Picklock Prankster. Yep. Now, fortunately, their Annex is hurting them, not me. So now we start cantripping and try to get a Pheonix in play, or a Crackling Drake. That's fine too, I guess. Alright, well, 10 power creature. 13 power creature. Thank you, Proft. Alright, they have the Mutavault, so their Annex is going to start draining me. But if they can't answer this Crackling Drake, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's fine, because I've just drawn the Brazen Borrower. And now we just try to finish them. I would love to just get... Yeah. They give up. It's not technically lethal, but boy is it bad for them. They're going to be taking, like, a lot. Alright. And let's do another one. While we're here, if you're watching, make sure to follow. It helps me out a lot. Alright, we found an opponent really quick. This hand is fine. He's got a sleight of hand. He's got a Treasure Cruise, which will probably be castable at some point. Alright, we're obviously going to take an Opt. Just cantripping into cantrip so that we can cantrip while we cantrip. So this is Rakdos Demons, of course. It's always Rakdos Demons until proven otherwise. Picklock Prankster is great. That sets up the Treasure Cruise. Pheonix is great. I'm going to have to get that into the bin somehow, but I'm sure I can manage. Yep, there's the Fable. Alright, I think we pass with Spell Pierce up, Picklock Prankster on their end step. I would love to catch an Unholy Annex if possible, although they might have the mana to pay for the Spell Pierce with that treasure. Oh, that's so much worse. Alright, we're going to free the Fae, try to find a Lightning Axe. Well, shoot. We have a Fiery Impulse, which notably doesn't deal 5 damage. Alright, we are lucky, we drew the Lightning Axe, and now all is well in the world. So Lightning Axe, throw Pheonix into the bin, that's 1 spell. Pathway on red. Fiery Impulse, the Blood Tithe Harvester, that's 2 spells. Treasure Cruise. All of my non-Pheonix cards, that's 3 spells. Just as the cherry on top, Flood Maw, the token. Thank you so much for the follow, Grace VTuber. I appreciate it. Alright, so we have 2 Pheonixes in play, and we've pretty much stopped most of their stuff. And we run out an Artist's Talent. And is there any reason to... No, I'm just gonna play a tap land and hold up Spell Pierce. They do have a decent amount of pressure here, so they can hit me for like 6 if they want. Yep, they apparently do want. I might have wanted to opt in response and kill the Harvester. Alright, so they're going for the kill the Phoenixes plan, which seems much worse because I can just get it back, hopefully. So now I'm going to hold this opt. Yeah, fear of missing out. That's fine. I'm going to hold this opt for next turn to be one of my 3 spells. They discard an Unholy Annex. And duress me. I'll Spell Pierce that. It's a spell that I can cast to trigger Artist's Talent. Alright, let's get the cantripping going. Just all the cantripping. There's only 1 Pheonix in the bin. Let's Treasure Cruise, try to find another. 5, 6, 7. And this is spell number 2. I'll discard an opt. Alright. No Pheonix, but Fiery Impulse, Kill the Reflection is spell number 3. I guess I can consider to try to find another Pheonix. Alright, no other Phoenixes in sight. I'll do one last consider and then hold up Flood Maw. Alright, Torch the Tower is great. So now I can hold up that and Flood Maw, put them to 2. And assuming they get Delirium, I'm going to Torch the Fear, sacking the Artist's Talent. And hopefully that'll be enough. Yeah, so they have Delirium. So I'm just going to get rid of that real quick. And we don't need yet another cantrip. So I have 2 lethal attackers. They're nowhere near lethal themselves. They're just flipping through bloods. Yep. And they concede. Lovely. Alright, and then this is the regular old Rakdos Demons. I think Anger of the Gods is probably fine-ish against them. Flood Maw is pretty good because they have... Yeah, actually, I think Anger of the Gods probably not good enough against them. It's hard to say. I mean, they have a lot of like big guys like Sheoldred and the demon tokens and stuff. It's not terrible, but is it better than Flood Maw? Flood Maw also fights against Unlicensed Hearse. Spell Pierce doesn't hit most of their deck, but it does hit some of their deck, but not most of it. Annul is better because it hits like Fear of Missing Out and stuff as creatures. 4 more cuts. 4 more cuts, and I'm going to say 2 Sleight of Hand. Torch the Tower is just like the most awkward. And maybe 1 Flood Maw can go. I'm bringing in Brazen Borrower, which is very similar. Yeah, this hand is great. I mean, they have discard spells, so again, you just don't ever want to mulligan a decent 7. Alright, so they have Blood Tithe Harvester, that's fine. I think the plan is hold up interaction, slam Iconoclast when I can cast a Consider afterwards. I think I'll take 3 here. They might cast something else scarier. Alright, that's pretty scary. I will consider in response. If I hit an annul, that would be great. I don't. Alright, let's just get rid of the Blood Tithe Harvester. Play a 3rd land, play Iconoclast. Say go. And hopefully Iconoclast can, you know, do some stuff for the early game. It's a pretty early Iconoclast, so I expect it to die to a removal spell. But hopefully it would be really nice if I get to untap with it, obviously. Alright, I'm going to opt. Alright, I don't get to untap with it. Unsurprising. I at least get a 1/1 and an Artist Talent out of the deal. Play a land, play Artist's Talent, and pass the turn. Try to get a Pheonix back next turn. Yep, that Goblin Shaman sure is getting them some treasures. Fable the Mirror Breaker is just so good. Alright, Shieldred the Apocalypse is basically nothing here. I will do this now for mana constraint purposes. I have 2 spells. I need to cast 3. I'm going to keep my 2 spells. They can crack a Blood in response to gain 2 if they want. They don't. Alright, spell number 1, Picklock Prankster. I think we discard the second Picklock Prankster. Fiery Impulse is great. Spell number 2, get rid of that reflection. And I think get rid of a tap land. It's hard to tell, but untapped lands are so much better. Alright. We do hit an untapped land. Nothing to do with it this turn, but we get a Pheonix back, we attack for 4. I think we're still doing fine. Alright, Torch the Tower means we are now doing quite badly. The tower has been torched. And they even have a Damping Sphere. Alright, well, I'm going to free the Fae. That's each spell. One, two, three, 4. And I guess I'll just play a Picklock Prankster. So now I have a 1/3 blocker. And I have Fire Impulse available. Yep, they're making this attack just to get the treasure, of course. I will block it. Unstoppable Slasher is kind of annoying, but I have 1 Fiery Impulse already. So I think I will Fiery Impulse the Slasher on their turn just to give me the most amount of time to find something else. I could have leveled up Artist's Talent, which probably would have been very good. Alright, I could triple block the Slasher, I guess. But I think that is better blocking. And burn the Slasher. Get that pathway out of there. Draw a Treasure Cruise, which is great. So this attack turned out pretty poorly for them. They lost their Goblin Shaman for basically nothing. And now we start cruising for some treasure. 5, 6, 7. Love to hit more Phoenixes to get any kind of a clock going. We're going to keep the second Treasure Cruise because we can cast it super easily even through Damping Sphere. Alright, well, second Treasure Cruise time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To cast this for 1 mana as well. And I think we get rid of a null. Its time seems to have passed. Alright, we draw another one anyway. And no Phoenixes in the yard. We could Treasure Cruise again, and I guess we will. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll have to pay 2 mana and get rid of a tap land. Nice Damping Sphere, by the way. Alright, there's the Pheonix right on time. Yep, that is 1 mana short of being able to cast a Sleight of Hand. I will level up the Artist's Talent. Alright, so they discard a Mutavault, and they find a Shieldred. That's fine, I can Brazen Borrower that. Please go away. And I think it's worth taking 2 and giving them... It's worth taking 2, I think, to look at an additional card. Alright, so I've cast 1 spell this turn. Sleight of Hand is 2. This gets us a Pheonix in the bin. And I guess this is tremendously awkward, but it does work. We Artist Talent, put the Pheonix in the bin. Alright, and then we draw a Consider. So we can cast that for 3 mana, which is a little bit overpriced. Just a little bit overpriced. Alright, another Pheonix shows up. Not the right time for it, but we do get our 2 Phoenixes out of the bin. And now we are cooking with gas. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. If we had gotten that Pheonix back, they would have died. But I think they're still almost certainly... So they're still going to die to this Pheonix in hand. So they can run out their Shieldred, and I will simply just cast my Pheonix, which has flying. Yep, I'll lose 2. Arclight Pheonix attack you for 3. GG. Alright, that was a good game. We ground through a Damping Sphere. It's always nice. Alright, and another one. Yep, this hand is fine. We've got cantrips, we've got a removal spell, we got an Artist's Talent. And hello. I think we can save the cantrips for post Artist's Talent. Probably fine, looking like a mirror. Yep, so they're considering immediately. Torch the Tower is going to be especially great in this matchup. Mana Confluence. Sylvan Scrying. Beseiju? What? Alright, so they're probably still Pheonix, but some weird variant with green. Alright, well, I'll take double Spell Pierce, Torch the Tower as interaction. I'm going to Picklock Prankster end of turn, unless they do something fun. Alright, so they are Twiddlestorm with Considers, I guess. I guess they're Twiddlestorm with Considers, which I don't know why, but fair enough. Two, three, 4. Very nearly bricked on that, but we didn't. So now we have to get a Pheonix into play and get the pressure going ASAP. Alright, sleight of hand, not great. Consider. Get through the steam vents, I guess. A null probably isn't relevant. I don't know. I can't remember if that deck plays that sort of thing. We're just going to cast our 3 spells, put some bad cards in the graveyard, and get a Pheonix back and start attacking. So they're currently on the fair Lotus Field. I imagine we'll see a Thespian stage. Yep. And they're cycling another Vizier. I don't think... Yeah, I mean... They have 2 Lotus Fields now. And... Hidden Strings... I guess I'll spell Pierce that. Mana is the bottleneck at this exact moment, and probably no other. So this can brick them for the turn. And we are going to try to find more Phoenixes to try to pressure them even faster. And we also need to find more interaction, would be nice. And we seem to be struggling at both. Alright, a whole lot of cards that don't interact with what they're doing. Sleight of hand, I guess. Yuck. Well, we have unfortunately just drawn like too many random dirtily cantrips. So now they are untapping, and I have functionally 0 interaction available. I guess I can consider at a point where I might want to counterspell something. Hidden Strings. Has to let that resolve. Pour over the pages. Yep, they're certainly going to be doing the thing. So mana isn't a bottleneck. The only spell-based interaction I have main deck is a single copy of Annul and 1 more Spell Pierce. So, looking pretty dead here. And they have just infinite mana. Polyget Recovery, sure, just even more pour over the pages. So each pour over the pages nets them 1 mana, and obviously draw 3, discard 1. So they're... Alright, they have a Leer. I guess I should have kept that Lightning Axe. I could have Lightning Axed this Leer. Maybe I'll find another one. Nope. Alright, I can Flood Maw the Leer now. So that's something, maybe. Alright, but what if the Leer were back in your hand? Aha! So they probably will have enough mana that this doesn't matter. But you never know. Yep, they just instantly recast it. And I am going to make them click through it because you never know. Sometimes they mess up. Also, like, it's good to refresh myself on what the combo is. Because I haven't seen it in a while. I've mostly been playing against Rakdos over and over and over again. So it's good to remember that, like, Leer exists. So lightning axes are good. Actual factual wish. Okay. And Aetherflux Reservoir. And I assume that I die, like, instantly. Alright, so Aetherflux Reservoir means the annuls are actually good. Yep, and they are certainly doing their thing. I'm to concede now. Like, it's very clear they can get the remaining of their life. Alright, so Annul is good, it can stop the Aetherflux Reservoir. Negate is good, it stops most of the stuff in their deck. Mystical Dispute is good, it stops most of the stuff in their deck. Fiery Impulse and Torch the Tower are bad. Lightning Axe is good-ish, because I can kill the Leer. Iconoclasts and Crackling Drakes are good-ish, because they just make me go a little bit faster. Brazen Borrower, I guess I could be cheeky and Brazen Borrower bounce something, but they can just recast it most of the time. For that same reason, Floodmaw is not great. And I guess Trim to Sleight of Hands. It's sorcery speed, and I really don't want to be tapping out ever if I can help it. Alright, let's have another go with this. Alright, so the goal here is to just turn 2 Iconoclast, cast a billion cantrips after that, and win the game very quickly. They're mulliganing at least once, probably only once. Yep, so they've mulliganed once. We are just going to try to turbo as fast as possible with this Iconoclast. Alright, Negate is excellent. So now in future turns I can hold up Negate as well as my cantrips. I think we're still safe to do setup, so Proph's Eidetic Memory is a fantastic draw. It means everything about this is going to go much quicker. Spread the counters out, just for safety, against removal if they have it. They're considering. I don't think I remember these decks playing Consider previously when I've played it. This might be a slightly different build. Alright, so here's the Fair Lotus Field again. And instantly Viziers it. This seems a bit aggressive. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem likely for them to go off with a single Lotus Field. Alright, looks like they have some sort of interaction, maybe? What are they going through their graveyard for? Okay, they're just going to dig through time. That is fine, I guess. I mean, it's not horrible. Treasure Cruise can go, there's just no time for that. I'm going to main phase and opt for the Proph's trigger. Grab a Spell Pierce. And attack you for 6. And now I have 2 mana, but a whole lot of interaction. And I'm just going to try to tempo you. Expedition map. I don't think I counter that. Alright. The Thespian stage. Copy the Lotus Field. They can do that immediately. But it does mean they are tapped out for the turn, which is lovely. I think I take the Mystical Dispute and try to just... I only have to stall them for one more turn. If all of this interaction can't save me for a single turn, then I'll lose, otherwise I will win. Alright, so they're generating mana. They have to play around Mystical Dispute. They don't know I have second Mystical Dispute and Spell Pierce and Negate. Alright, well, I have to negate the silence. They have too much mana for me to use Mystical Disputes and the like on it. Second silence. I mean, it doesn't matter whether I Spell Pierce this or not. I guess I will. Just maybe they'll mess up and pay for it. But they should just let this go. Yep, they let it go. Now they have 6 mana and 2 Lotus Fields. Can they do it? Another pour over the pages means the answer is probably yes, but it is still a little bit tight. Hidden Strings generates mana, but not cards. Wish generates a card from the sideboard. Aetherflux Reservoir is in play. So now they can even just like gain life here, and they don't even need to go fully off. Like if they get up to like 20, then they will have time to go again next turn. Why do you have Artist's Talent? Do you have like a Pheonix backup plan or something? It doesn't really make any sense, but okay, so this is going to be another dig through time. Yeah, and that is going to gain them up to 31. And they are... Alright, they're pouring over pages again. So they are once again building back up. And any spell, I think, kills me here. Yep, pour over the pages certainly does. Just double silence. I could have beaten a single silence. So obviously they had 2. And why they were playing Artist's Talents and Considers in their deck, I do not understand. But whatever. This hand is great if they're a creature deck. Well, I mean, even then, it's kind of mediocre. Yeah, so this hand is much more well-rounded. I think I toss back Floodmaw and play a tap land. Hive of the Eye Tyrant, Duress. Gross. They take the Lightning Axe, which means Sheoldred. I guess I'll play a Riverglide Pathway. So they're going to just play a turn 4 Sheoldred, and I'm going to have to find another Lightning Axe to beat it. I'll take a Treasure Cruise, of course. Backup Treasure Cruise shows up, somewhat awkwardly. Artist's talent is great. Unstoppable slasher. Alright, so that's maybe why they got rid of my lightning axe. So I'm going to play 1-3. Alright, Bloodletter of Aclazotz. Yep, this is the stupid combo deck. I'm going to kill the Bloodletter since, you know, killing it actually kills it. And chump block to not go to like 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Treasure Cruise. Oh, do we throw back Consider? I think we do. Alright, seriously regretting getting rid of the Consider now, but that's fine. Alright, well I only have a blue mana up, so this Fiery Impulse not doing much. If they have another Bloodletter, they got me. Nope, they're just gonna exile my Pheonix and hit me for 1 billion, which is almost as bad as dying instantly. Yeah, well, I guess I just pass. And I can kill the Slasher. Lose what's left of my graveyard. Yeah, I guess I have to do this before they get rid of too many instants and sorceries. Absolutely discard the Spell Pierce. Keep the Consider because it's more looks. And I guess I'll cast it now. No harm doing so. Absolutely don't need a Steam Vents. Fiery Impulse is great. Just you get out of here. Alright, well, bad news, they have another Hive. Good news, Slasher's gone. Bad news, I have no cards in hand, and my deck really needs to have cards in hand. So I'll level up an Artist Talent, and hope I draw like crazy. Alright, there's the Bloodletter. And I've died. Yep. So we need our Graveyard Juke. We need ways of dealing with... I mean, we don't really have good ways of dealing with the Slasher. I guess just bring up Anger of the Gods and more burn spells. Spell Pierce seems bad. They're most creatures. Annul seems bad. They probably have the Unholy Annex, but it's probably less important. And then with Sheoldred's almost certainly in the deck, Opt becomes the worst cantrip. So normally you'd cut Sleight of Hand because it's sorcery speed, but it also doesn't draw cards, so it can help you find the Lightning Axe for the Sheoldred. Yep, this is fine. I'm going to lead on an island. Pathway is going to be on red. We'll consider a Pheonix into the graveyard immediately. It's pretty good. Alright. So if they play a creature, there's reasonable chance. No, they didn't play a creature. This Sleight of Hand is going to have to dig me to a land. How about Infinite Phoenixes? Alright, that land can be tapped. So I have 2 Phoenixes in the bin, a third coming. They're probably going to have like Unlicensed Tourist or something to get both of my Phoenixes. And then I will be sad. Alright, Unstoppable Flasher. That's fine. I can double Fiery Impulse it as 2 of my 3 spells to get these Phoenixes back. And then it comes back. I Fiery Impulse it again. Alright. I have 8 cards in graveyard, but so I think I can exile 6, which is going to be a Phoenix, but this will get me 2 Phoenixes back, which is almost certainly worth it. Another Fiery Impulse is not what I'm looking for. Alright, so we had to exile one of our own Phoenixes, but now we have 2 Phoenixes in play, which is pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised for them to have Deadly Cover-Up. Alright, Unlicensed Tourist is a turn too late. That's great to see. So Heartless Act can get rid of one of the Phoenixes functionally permanently, but Iconoclast is going to come down. And Sleight of Hand. So I'm doing this pre-combat because I might find a Profts, in which case I would love to put counters on my Phoenix and attack. I don't. Alright, so now I'm not going to have the mana to Proft, so I'll play a tap land and go to attacks. Yep, so there goes my Phoenix. But they are down to 11. And I have 6 power in play. They're just running out of Bloodletter is fine. It's not scary at all, really. Discard the Pathway. And I think the Opt. Crackling Drake is pretty good. Alright, once again, we might find a Profts, so we may as well do this pre-combat. Although I will keep both of those cards. We don't need another Treasure Cruise, it's going to be hard enough to do the one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can toss back an additional Artist's Talent. Alright. No Props Eidetic Memory. In that case, we will just go to combat and play a post-combat Crackling Drake. Actually, this is enough power. The only card that really beats me at the moment is Deadly Cover-Up. In which case, I would love to have Crackling Drake as a follow-up to the Deadly Cover-Up. So I'm just going to pass here. Sunken Citadel on black. Bloodletter of Aclazotz. Doesn't matter. Yep, and they scoop. Alright, let's run it back. Feeling pretty decent about these post-board games. I'm definitely getting the grip on sideboarding with this deck a lot more than when I first started, so that's lovely. Alright, opponent is updating their sideboarding. now that they've seen Iconoclast. And I don't think they saw Crackling Drake, so that's nice. Alright, let's see here. This hand is fine. Obviously, again, they're a discard deck. You never go to 6 with you never go to 6 against a discard deck unless you really badly need to. So they've taken my Arclight Pheonix, and my read of that is they have like a Graveyard Trespasser or an Unlicensed Hearse. Yep, and they just want to get rid of it immediately. Unholy Annex. I'll consider. I don't remember if I have Annuls in. I don't think so. Alright, well, we hit the Iconoclast, which is pretty great. So we are just going to immediately Sleight of Hand. And Pheonix is better than a 5th land. So now the question is, do they have their sideboard tech for 3rd Path Iconoclast? Could be like any spot removal spell would be great for them here. Sweeper would be fantastic, obviously. Alright, Unstoppable Slasher is actually very good for me. So I guess I free the Fae first to get a Summoning Sick guy to bargain away. And I'll grab a Consider off of that. Now we Torch with Bargain. Get rid of the Summoning Sick one. Get another one immediately. Yep, they can exile stuff with Unlicensed Hearse. Doesn't matter. I don't need more cantrips. At least not super bad. Play a blue source so that if they go to kill my Iconoclast, I can consider in response. Otherwise, I'll do it on their end step. Alright, so they're just going to get a 6/6. Which does mean that this will gain them life. And it also means I'm going to have to find an answer for a 6/6. Anger the Gods is absolutely the opposite of what I'm looking for at the moment. So we need like a Lightning Axe to combine with our Fiery Impulse. And alright, well, Artist's Talent can at least help us get there eventually. And it gets us another token. And we can play out the Picklock Prankster. So now if we end up having an opportunity, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can swing for 7 at the moment. Alright, they have double Unholy Annex. Which basically, double Unholy Annex basically means if I find a way to kill this demon, I win. If I don't, they win. And I don't have much time. Alright, Lightning Axe is exactly what I'm looking for. Kill that. I don't think I want to get rid of my Pheonix. I think I'm probably going to want to cast it on a future turn. Alright, so their guy is gone. So now I can attack them for 5. They should have crewed the hearse there. They should have crewed the hearse in response to that dying. Alright, well I'm just going to hit them for 5. And now they can get another demon with their other ritual chamber. And I'm going to need to have an answer for that as well. So I think I've basically lost this game. Go blank is not the right angle to be... Okay, Scourge of the Skyclaves is a demon. Which means... Alright. I guess Prop's Eidetic Memory could do some crazy combos, but... Alright. So now, with that gone, I'm only on ground-based creatures, so they could chump even if this did work. So we're gonna just come up short again. Yeah, and so now they... And I only technically drew like 1 card that turn, and they're gonna untap. They're gonna gain 4, drain me for 4, and yeah. Alright. We were close, but they just had everything. We had 1 decent thing. They had like 5 great things. Let's do another one. Alright, let's see what this opponent has. I'm gonna guess they're another Rakdos Demons deck, because it's like statistically the highest odds. We're on the draw, we have 2 cantrips, and this hand is kind of nuts if we hit lands. I guess this is fine. The hand is nuts if we hit land drops, especially if we hit them naturally. And I'm just going to be sleight of hand on 1. Alright, Copperline Gorge. So they're going to be Gruul. They're going to be Gruul aggro, which my hand is pretty bad against because my source of colored mana damages me. But I do find an island. Island has been found. Now, is this going to be like a land Burning Tree Emissary situation? Just another Kamano faces Kakazan. And a Heartfire hero. Alright, well that's definitely a good card to get counters on. Artist Talent pings me for 1 as well. Gross. I think I'm going to consider here. Throw back a land because I've hit enough. And I can torch this and exile it, which means it doesn't deal damage to me. So that is a very good pickup, and pretty much exactly why I decided to try to cantrip in my own turn. But now we have to deal with Etchings of Kumano and another one at next turn on top of whatever they're doing. Yeah, so my deck, very bad against... Well, I wouldn't say very bad. It's pretty bad against like these hyper-aggressive decks. Basically, like, if you're casting Kamano on turn 1, I'm probably in trouble. Alright, well, I'm going to play a Sokenzan and an Artist Talent. And I guess we try to get Pheonixes in play next turn. And maybe we can Spell Pierce something on their turn. If they cast anything that we can Spell Pierce, I would love that. Play with fire, just burn. So yeah, we're just going to get burned out here probably. They scryed to the top. You don't love to see them scrying to the top. Alright, Bone Crusher Giant. I will Spell Pierce that because it also gets rid of the other side. So if they play a super scary non-creature spell this turn, obviously I'll be sad, but I don't think... I think they're more likely to play another creature or two. Alright. Cunning Coyote is haste. And they're attacking me for 7. Well, we're going to cast some cantrips and try to get Pheonixes in play. Is Treasure Cruise... Yes, Treasure Cruise is 1 mana. So we Treasure Cruise for 1 mana. We ping ourselves with the Shivan Reef, because of course. And we Fiery Impulse the Etchings of Kamano. Picklock Prankster is just horrifically slow. So we can play an Otawara and have Flood Maw available. We are going to pass and use these Pheonixes as blockers so that we do not die. And Etching of Kamano is going to mean they're exiled, but otherwise we like literally die to anything. Feeling very dead here, of course. You could bring in some stuff sideboard, but it's not great. So we're at 4, which means 1 burn spell probably doesn't kill us, but 2 burn spells does kill us. And also, like, there are bigger burn spells that will kill us, but we're just going to hope they don't have those. Opponent is thinking very hard before inevitably deciding to click Attack with All. Yep. Block. Block. Go to damage. Get my Pheonixes exiled. Alright, well, we lived that turn somehow. Now we need to set up to not die again. 3, 4. I guess I'll take Lightning Axe. And Treasure Cruise. 5, 6, 7. Send back a Steam Vents, which will never be entering untapped. Alright, so we have a win con in hand. And we can get another Phoenix back. So that's something. Alright, well, the plan is Pheonix plus Lightning Axe, somehow stay alive. I think Pheonix has to be on blocks. And then next turn we can do Proft Eidetic Memory nonsense and then hopefully win. But more likely is they have 2 burn spells and they've just been slow rolling it for some reason. Alright, no, still nothing. Alright, so they probably have something castable, otherwise they wouldn't be tanking all this time. Alright, they have an Aloe Alchemist, so that's just a 3/2 trampler. Nothing scary. We're going to kill that and discard a tap land and discard a Flood Maw, I guess. Alright. 4th Pheonix is huge. So we go Proft Eidetic Memory. We discard the Pheonix. We cast our Opt and our Consider, and they concede. Alright, I still feel like I was super dead there, but I'm certainly not going to complain. I'm going to bring in Negate because it might hit something at some point. Like, it is very much all hands on deck in terms of interaction. They have Kamano Faces Kakazan, so I guess I can bring in a Null. And then, in terms of cards to remove, Force Sleight of Hand is a sorcery speed cantrip. And a Treasure Cruise, which is just horribly slow. Never going to be active during the first couple of turns when I need it to be. The plan is blue-red control. Like, we're gonna answer all of their threats, counter all their burn spells, and then win somehow. Will it work? I don't know. It worked game 1. And it's certainly better game 2. Alright. We are just waiting on our opponent to sideboard. They might bring in Graveyard Hate. They're probably going to bring in Graveyard Hate. I mean, if they're taking this long to sideboard, it's probably not just like run back the game 1 deck. They probably are going to have like Grafdigger's Cage or Unlicensed Hearse or something. They might be Leyline of the Void gamers, just 0 mana. Doesn't slow down their aggressive start at all. I don't know. Gruul Stompy isn't exactly on my list of decks that I'm super familiar with what their sideboards look like. I'm just going to say that based on their sideboarding time, they have some Graveyard Hate probably, and they're trying to figure out what to cut. This is not exciting, but I have a Fiery Impulse, I have a Negate, I have lands, I have an Artist Talent to dig me out of the flood if I can manage to play it. Alright, land Swift Spear. Pretty much as expected. I'm going to go land, kill your Swift Spear. Also pretty much as expected. And land. Heartfire Hero. Land Artist's Talent. Alright, so now I'm going to need them to cast some non-creature spells, not on this turn, but over the next couple of turns. So that I can use my defensive stuff and also cycle through these extra lands, which I absolutely do not need. Bushwhacker. Just regular old Bushwhacker. Alright. Fire Impulse is certainly great. We're going to play a land and pass. Fire Impulse something. Hopefully they'll give us something to Spell Pierce. If not, I'm just going to kill the Heartfire Hero, because that's the much bigger long-term problem. Alright, looks like they're going to give me something to Spell Pierce. Get out here. I like my Artist's Talent. Thank you very much. And get rid of another land. So I'm still going to be taking 3 here. And they have another Heartfire Hero. Alright, well, I am going to play a 1/3 Flying Vigilance creature. And hopefully this stonewalls them a little bit. I would love for them to... Alright, they're going to attacks. So I could block this, but if they target it, it doesn't even die. I'm just going to block the Bushwhacker. Come on, Picklock Prankster, save me some life. Atarka's Command. Alright, that makes sense. So yeah, 3 damage, +1/+1 in reach. Alright. They have another Destructive Revelry. Alright. Now I need to find something good very quickly. I have to use this just to try to draw a card. And it's a Spire Bluff Canal. So I almost certainly die here. Yep. They have another Bushwhacker. Yeah, there's nothing here for me. I can only get rid of one thing. I'm at 1. Alright. Let's try again. Game 3 on the play. Seems pretty good. Alright. Waiting for game 3. Opponent is thinking again. Yep. Just waiting for our opponent to sideboard. They should have a good idea. So it looks like not Graveyard Hate, but Destructive Revelry seems to be their sideboard plan. That, or they just didn't hit the Graveyard Hate, which also makes sense. Alright, let's try this. I'm going to play Steam Vents tapped on 1, Shiv and Reef on 2, and hope that we can find something. We need to find our interaction. We only have one lightning axe to save us. Opponent has mulligan to 6. Alright. We are gonna have to get lucky against the aggro deck, but it is possible. Verge, Heartfire Hero. Alright. Fiery Impulse is a good draw. I would love to just immediately kill that. And take 1. Carplucent Forest. And Burning Tree Emissary is terrifying. Certainly a great card that they didn't have any of the first 2 games. See if they can use the mana from it. Opponent is very slow. Just almost 6 minutes down on clock. And they're playing an aggro deck and I'm playing a cantrip deck. I don't like to complain about opponents playing slow, but that is pretty egregious. Alright. I am going to consider here. It's just too important to hit land drops and other things. Alright, we hit our land drops. So I don't know how or if we're going to get these Pheonixes back. I suppose we could have gone for it that turn, but with only a single opt to find more cantrips, it's kind of dicey. So yeah, we could have Lightning Axe the Burning Tree Emissary, put a Pheonix in the bin, opted, found another 1-mana cantrip, and then gotten our Pheonix back, but it's kind of dicey, and also, like, it's only 1 Pheonix, even if it works. I think I'll take a Spell Pierce here. And I think I will take 2. I assume they're going to have something to do. I was very correct. I was very correct to hold the Lightning Axe. So I can kill that, discard a Pheonix, take 2 damage, I guess, but no big deal. So I could Treasure Cruise for 5 graveyard cards and pay 1, 2, 3. And we didn't quite get anything good, but we got an opt, which could be something good in the future. So they're just going to run out the Coyote and attack me for 5. I'm going to Spell Pierce anything they cast. Alright, no. It's Aloe Alchemist, making this an attack for 8. Which is probably going to be impossible or close to impossible to beat with my hand. Floodmaw is way too temporary against this nonsense. I need to prop Eidetic Memory as a card draw. Alright. Torch the Tower is something. So I can get rid of a Coyote or a Burning Tree Emissary. And then hopefully not. And then hopefully Spell Pierce saves me. a bit, and then draw into something next turn, and then we're back in the same position again, except that we'll be at 4 that time, at best. Alright, so this is actually fine. So we can just kill the coyote in response. So their trigger fizzles. And take 2. So now we're at 4. Alright. Anger of the gods. That's a clean 2 for 1. We need to start casting our Pheonixes, but that gives us a shot. Anger of the Gods gives us a chance. Heartfire Hero probably kills the chance. Heartfire Hero into Magebane Lizard. Yep, well, I'm gonna run out of Pheonix. And die? So I take 2 from those guys. I'll take another one if I ever cast a spell again. Well, I guess we'll consider now if I... Yeah, I mean, I'm just super dead, right? Like, I don't think there are any outs. Yeah, I mean, even countering this Destructive Revelry, I think, pretty much kills me. Because I take 2 from that. And another 2 from that, and I die. Just... Magebane Lizard is absurd. I mean... What kind of aggro deck takes the time out of their day to say, you know what I need? I need a hate card for Izzet Pheonix. That's what I need. That's what my deck is missing. I need to be better at beating Izzet Pheonix, the deck that I already completely beat. And which is also relatively rare. Alright. Well, we find another opponent. Alright, Roger 321, what do you have for me? This hand kind of sucks. It's got no cantrips, no real way of getting to cantrips. This hand is great. We're already on a mulligan, so we're going to toss a Lightning Axe. Hello. Yep, and we've mulliganed against a Thoughtseize deck, so we are like 20% to win on turn 1. That's lovely. So they're just going to take the Treasure Cruise. Nope. Alright. They're officially... Well, either they have future discard spells and it doesn't matter because they're just going to take both, or they've just made a horrible mistake. Because Treasure Cruise is the best card in my hand and it's not even close. Yep. Unholy Annex. I would love to spike my one of main deck a null here. I don't. So that is going to be pinging them, which is better. Spell Pierce was just barely too far away. I miss a land drop. I didn't bottom a land, did I? Nope. Spell Pierce, Lightning Axe. Yep, so just a whole bunch of cantrips, never saw a second land. Archfiend of the Dross is a demon. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Well, I guess I can kill that by sacking my artist's talent, which is horrible. So you go away. Artist's talent go away. I just need a land. Please won't someone give me a land? So I do have another artist talent. And I do have this treasure cruise. Alright, so they are just doing ritual chamber stuff. I hit the land. And I think we just get rid of their demon immediately. Don't have time to be messing around with that. I think I keep cantrips to get Pheonix back in the future. Alright, they have Mutavault, so their NX still just always works, despite the fact that I've killed 2 demons. Yep, so I get drained for another 2. And now we get to do our fun thing, at least. F6, 7. And Treasure Cruise. You could have taken this on turn 1. You chose not to. I'm keeping my 4th land drop. Alright, sleight of hand. I think we discard the 5th land drop on the logic that we're probably going to find it anyway. Oh boy, did we. From Screw to Flood in 2 turns. I guess I will Flood Maw their Harvester to buy some time. Get rid of the Shivan Reef, because that's a very annoying land. Alright, my Pheonix is back. And I get to attack for 3. And they have some sort of removal spell. Fatal Push, maybe? Yep, Fatal Push. Certainly annoying, not the end of the world. I just have to keep on treasure cruising. I need to find something good off this treasure cruise, which shouldn't hopefully be a problem. Alright, Harvester plus Fable, plus another Mutavault, meaning this Unholy Annex is just always going to work. Alright, so we hit a sleight of hand, which is great. So this lets me discount the treasure cruise the full way. I guess I'll take another artist's talent. Not going to use it though. Just going to treasure cruise. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Give me another 3. Oop, give me another 4. And Picklock Prankster. Just try to get more Phoenixes if possible. Yes, we did. And I will take an Opt. Alright, 2 Phoenixes coming back. I can't even, like, race them, though. Like, these have to be defensive Phoenixes, otherwise I just take 5 this turn, and it's just horrible. And while I'm doing my defensive Phoenixes stuff, they have Unholy Annex that's draining me out anyway, so it doesn't really matter what I do. At this point, I've pretty much lost. This card is just so brutal. Like, how are you ever supposed to outvalue this card? It just draws you into the Mutavaults too, so like... So now they even have a fear of missing out. Alright, they have decided to kill one of my Pheonixes, which doesn't really make a difference. I would have just chump blocked anyway, because they are all coming back. Yep. You can drain me again. Draw even more cards. Alright, well. Surely the deck can't all be bricks. Alright, there's another Pheonix. That's pretty good. So that's one spell for the turn. Sleight of Hand is spell number 2. We can get rid of this Opt. It's the worst cantrip in the deck. And now I guess we start killing stuff. We have to kill their creatures, otherwise we get completely obliterated. I guess we can discard the Storm card. Coast. Yes, and that's exactly why. That gives us another Pheonix, which we can discard. No. I think we have to kill the fear of missing out there. Otherwise they do additional combat step nonsense with their Mutavaults, and it just gets ugly very quickly. Alright. Well, that was fun. 4 Pheonixes. So they do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this is 12. I'm attacking them down to their starting life total, which they'll only temporarily be at. But I have to leave like 2-ish creatures on defense. Alright, they Fatal Push one of the attacking ones. Probably I prefer that over them Fatal Pushing one of the defending ones, since their life total is basically infinite. So I guess the plan is Prophydetic Memory, Treasure Cruise, draw the rest of my deck, and then attack them for a bunch next turn. I mean, it's a free block 99.9% of the time. If they have Graveyard Hate, they got me. Alright, Ritual Chamber is a flying blocker, which I'll have to deal with. And another Ritual Chamber is another flying blocker. Well, we're going to try. It's almost certain to fail through 2 flying blockers. But crazier things have happened. So I'm going to draw as much of my deck as I can. And make a giant Pheonix. Alright, so I could double Fiery Impulse one of the flying blockers and then try to find a... I don't even know if I have it left. Nope. Alright, well, we're doing our best here. We're making as big of a creature as we possibly can. We have another Treasure Cruise for next turn. We get our Phoenixes back. We get one very big Pheonix. I think this attack is probably enough, so we force them to chump block with that. But now the bad news is they just level up all these annexes and drain me for like 6. So yeah, the Mutavault activation drains me for 6. And then I go to 2, and then I guess I have a decent shot at winning on my turn. I mean, it's possible anyway. Oh, they get rid of a Thoughtseize, which I think they probably wanted to cast to take my Treasure Cruise. So I have 13, 16, 19, 21 points here. This is another 3. I guess this is another 2, maybe. I think we might. No, but they're going to gain 6 as well, so I have to deal 31. So this is 13, 16, 19, 21, 28, 30. And they have blockers on the ground anyway. Well, I think we are just a couple points short here. Okay, and I mean, we also have to actually draw our entire deck. So we have 2 cards in library at the moment. Now we go down to 1 card in library. And channel Sokenzan, and maybe they do the math wrong and think we've killed them. Or maybe I did the math wrong and we did kill them. Who knows? Oh, that was super close. Alright. Ordinary sideboarding stuff. Anger the Gods, probably fine against them. They have Blood Tithe Harvesters and stuff. Annul is in the deck for this matchup. Negate, maybe. I think we trim Sleight of Hand and Opt. I think on second thought, Negate is really awkward. And Picklock Prankster, maybe you just don't want too many of them because they cost 2 mana. Alright, well, this is lands and spells against a deck with discard in it, so we're keeping it. And I guess we'll play an untapped land on 1 and consider. Alright, there goes my Prophecydatic Memory. It's the only good card in my deck. So, or, I don't know, I have good cards in my deck. It's the only good card in my hand is what I meant to say. I guess we consider and reconsider. So that we can consider while we consider. And we'll take a land, and play a land, and pass. Hey, how are you? I am good. Just lost a crazy game where I drew every card in my deck and was 2 damage short. We've been doing pretty well so far. How's the stream going? The stream is going well. Alright, so they have a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, which I can't do anything about. I might Floodmaw the token. I think I'll pass my turn first. And play Otawara. Yeah, I also play Satisfactory. I alternate between the two. I think I want to prevent them from making a treasure with this Goblin Shaman. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Yeah, I haven't really played Minecraft in a long time. I've never played Fortnite. Yeah, I stream every weekday. Alright, there's the Unholy Annex. So they're going to be taking some damage from that at the start at least. So now the question is, do I bin the Pheonix and try to get it back? I think I do. Alright, so Floodmaw is a second castable spell, but it's not very good. Alright. So we have just drawn Infinite Phoenixes. Thank you. So yeah, we have a lot of Phoenixes. We're going to need to somehow... Alright, torch the tower. One Phoenix is down. Fortunately, I have... Well, Unlicensed Hearse, another Phoenix is down. What do I even do here? I don't like to talk about that sort of stuff on stream, sorry. I'm going to hardcast this Pheonix and continue attacking. And hopefully they can't kill this Pheonix, because if they can, then I have very little. Alright, yep, Unlicensed Hearse, as expected, getting rid of my Pheonix. Yeah, alright, well, that was expected. Well, I guess my Pheonix is going to exile one way or another. Yep. So you can duress me. Take my Anger of the Gods, probably. Yep. So I need some pretty good draws from here on out. I will keep this island so that I can discard it to various things. But I really need a treasure cruise soon before this Unlicensed Hearse gets all the way through my graveyard. Yep, another Fable. So I really need a Treasure Cruise to refuel and a Third Path Iconoclast to get pressure on. I mean, maybe they'll just never find a demon and die to their own die to their own thing. It seems unlikely, but you never know. I guess I'll opt into an opt. I need to find like anything good. Alright, Crackling Drake is a lethal threat. Fiery Impulse at least lets me not die to the reflection shenanigans. Absolutely not getting rid of these cards. So next turn I can run out the Crackling Drake, and then they'll probably remove it because they have a billion cards in hand, but maybe that'll keep them busy, and they'll die to their Unholy Annex. You can always hope. So the Ritual Chamber is 5 mana, because a 5 mana 6/6 attached to a Phyrexian Arena is apparently just normal. Alright, pass to attackers. You can make a treasure token. And probably unlock the Ritual Chamber. No, they're shocking to unlock the Ritual Chamber. Oh, that's tempting. Why do you have to tempt me like this? I could put them to 2 here if I discard my Crackling Drake. Okay. I have to go for it. I mean, come on. It'll be so cool if this works. So that is upgraded to 7 damage, which means they take 2. And I'm going to run out Picklock Prankster. And either that's a turn 2 clock, or it'll keep me alive. Maybe. Alright, yep, they have Fatal Push. That's completely expected. They had to burn a treasure for it, though. Which means there was no reason for them to do it just then. Like, they could have done that at any point. Yep. Alright, so hopefully they don't have a demon and they just die this turn. That would be ideal. They have a Mutavault, so I'm going to need to find a removal spell for a small creature. If I can find a Torch the Tower or a whatever that other burn spell is that I have way more of in my deck, if I can find either of those, then this literally wins me the game. Otherwise, like, I probably was going to lose this game anyway. Ah, I see. Well, that's awkward. So now you have 2 sources of demons. And I can't cast Lightning Axe. I can annul that one. But you're going to gain 2 life. And I think this game is over. Alright. Right on time, Treasure Cruise. Glad you didn't show up any second earlier. That would have been too convenient. So now Unlicensed Hearse is a lethal attacker. So now the plan is Third Path Iconoclast, make like a couple of tokens, and then win somehow. Alright, another Treasure Cruise is nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. It's looking like we're going to have 2 close games that we come up short in both times. So yeah, they have their unlicensed hearse. Now it's 10 power. Still can be chump blocked by a soldier. And they still have infinite cards because of this stupid unholy annex. And a Blood Tithe Harvester. And make a copy of a Blood Tithe Harvester. And kill a 1/1 with a Blood Tithe Harvester. Because why not? And now you use the other one to crew the hearse. And fire up the Mutavault. And I take 4, lose my last creature. Alright, they're not firing up the hearse. Which means I only take 2 here. By the way, what's exiled? 3 Phoenixes are exiled? Yep. Well, I guess step 1, get rid of that. I don't need a second artist talent. Alright. The last Pheonix has arrived. And I can get it in play. Or no, I can't because the unlicensed hearse is untapped. 2, 3, 4. Alright, well, now if I leave up the Fiery Impulse, they fire up the Mutavault, immediately crew the hearse, attack me with it, and I die. If I play the Picklock Prankster, they do the same thing, except instead of dying, I go to 2. And yeah, I mean, I'm just super dead here. Just 2 very close games where I died, where I just barely wasn't able to do it both times. Very, very close, though. Alright. I think I'm going to call it there. We had a good session. I'll be playing Satisfactory tomorrow. So yeah, see you guys then. Make sure to follow if you enjoy the content. I play Magic every other day, Satisfactory every other day. If you like either of those, then make sure to stick around.